many students have that problem that we live in a PG, we live in a hostel, and the hostel food is good if you're lucky. It's not terrible, but it's not also like the health conscious food that you would need if you want to, let's say build a physique or just maintain like overall good, health. So, could you like suggest a simple diet plan which people could follow while staying inside a PG room or inside a hostel room?
Okay, so I'm guessing simple and cheap, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's one thing that's available everywhere? Dal and rice. Simplest thing. People think dal is a good protein source, but it's protein and carbs. When you combine dal and rice, it's usually a very high carb dish, but it does have some protein. So as a vegetarian, that's your go-to option. Step 2, make sure you have eggs in your diet. Eggs are nutritionally amazing. Like they have all sorts of minerals, vitamins, all sorts of nutrition, and also healthy fats and protein, right? So a combination of eggs, dal, super cheap. You can get it anywhere in the world. And like, as for your excuses, just figure out how to cook it. That's it. That's all you need to do. So what I've personally done is there was a time when I didn't have access to a kitchen. So I would take a hot water kettle, put my eggs in that, boil my eggs in that, and just eat boiled eggs. If that's too bland for you, no problem at all. Add some dressing, make it interesting. Add some hot sauce, make it interesting however you want to. So there are lots of options. Start with dal, rice, and eggs. Now, if you can, add a protein supplement into it. If you feel like you're a vegetarian, you can't have the eggs. Maybe you don't have the budget for it. In that case, stop going out and drinking with your friends, save that money, and then put that into the protein shake.
Definitely.
I mean, it all comes down to really how bad do you want it? Do you just want it because you're trying to impress a guy, girl, or whatever you're into? Or do you really want it because you want to be the best version that you can be of yourself, because there's only one goddamn life that you're going to live. So it's your call. If you want to figure out a way, you will figure out a way. So my diet plan for anybody who's looking for a cheap and easily accessible source of food: eggs, dal, rice. Where it becomes unhealthy is if you have too much of it according to your requirement. A food scale can be your best friend. If you're really trying to watch your calorie intake, getting a food scale which is available for $600, not even that much. Maybe even cheaper.
You get it. Like I bought mine in the hostel for I guess around 350, 400 off Amazon itself.
There you go. Super cheap. You don't have to get a fancy food scale. Super cheap. It can be plastic. You can just get access to that. That itself is going to change your life, because you're going to know how much food you're eating. Eating too much food is going to increase your body fat. Eating too less food is going to decrease your performance. So you got to find that balance. You got to figure out how many calories you should be taking in. And that's what's really going to take you to the next level.
Totally, sir. But so, like, could you just suggest a simple diet plan? Like, let's say there's a person, his daily routine is he wakes up in the morning, he goes to college, he attends college, like, let's say till 4 in the evening. He works out at 6 p.m. and he sleeps by 11. So what could be a sample diet plan? Let's say breakfast, snacks, lunch, pre-workout, post-workout dinner. So could you just suggest a simple diet plan which people could follow, again, simple and cheap? That's the key.
Absolutely. Okay. So breakfast, you got to go for eggs. Simple, right? Breakfast, you can have some eggs and a little bit of fruit just to get you through the day. I'm considering the fact that you're just eating carbohydrates. You're in the hostel. You don't want to do keto because that may be a little expensive for you. That may be impractical, because if you don't have access to a kitchen, it becomes a little challenging. So eggs right in the morning, first meal done with some fruit. Second meal is going to be, I'm guessing, lunchtime, right around college time. So at that time, you could go for some sort of wrap. Now, it could be a paneer wrap. It could be a tofu wrap if you're a vegetarian. It could be a chicken wrap if you're a non-vegetarian. Also, obviously, since I'm a non-vegetarian and a nutritionist, I do have a slight bias towards non-vegetarian food, just because meat is very nutritious. And you can get a lot of your protein, a lot of your nutritional requirements, such as essential minerals, vitamins, and amino acids from meat. So if you don't have that option, then I would recommend maybe a protein shake. If you can't do that, no problem. You can stick to your paneer, tofu, etc. And then for dinner, you can have any kind of dal and rice mix, which is perfectly fine. You can have a dal soup of sorts. You can have dal and vegetables, anything to fill you up. So does that make
Understood.
sense? You can have eggs in the morning. You can have paneer, tofu, or chicken in the afternoon. Then you're going to have dal or any kind of carbohydrate with that for dinner.
All right, great. And what about the pre and post?
Pre and post workout.
Yeah.
So pre-workout, if you're going to be training strength, if you're doing cardio, you probably don't need a lot of calories. If you're training strength, then I would recommend topping up your carbohydrates reserves. And basically, you should have some kind of protein source before and or after 2 hour, have a 2 hour window before or after your training window. For example, if I'm training, let's say at 5 p.m. So if I've had my protein meal at 3, I don't need to worry about post-workout. I need to get that protein shake in. That's not a problem. My amino acid pool is topped up. It's not a concern. But let's say I didn't eat my protein meal 2 hours before my training, then it becomes a little more important within your training window, maybe 2 hours after your training window, you do top up that protein reserve. It's not so important to have protein right before or right after your training. It's good to spread it out throughout the day as evenly as possible.
Great, understood, sir. So thanks a lot for that diet plan. Guys, I'll make sure that I put a link in the description. I'll just sum it up in a document and I'll put it there.